Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here. Great to get to know some of you. Great to see known faces and a few of you that are close to my heart. Today it's about how is it possible to do more with less? And more precisely, how can you offer any individual victims, beneficiaries, a state-of-the-art experience whenever they get in touch, whenever they engage digitally with your organizations? Doing more with less is pretty obvious on the current context. We just compile a few numbers, but they're obvious for everyone. It's an unprecedented challenge, an unprecedented need. Virtually, it's never been a time where NGOs were as required as they are today, as necessary as they are today. But just a few striking numbers, and it's only about humanitarian. You can complete them and continue the list with environmental issues and so on and so forth. So just over the past 5 years, you can see the rise in many and virtually all the indicators. At the same time, over the last years, the funding globally for humanitarian purpose were kind of rising, somehow at least. And then as of last year, 2024, we saw an inflection. For the first time over the last years, for many reasons, the global funding was starting to decrease. And that's obviously was before what happened a couple of months ago with President Trump's decision to first freeze and then massively slash the US aid funding. So storming, of course, for pretty much all the organizations. So doing more with less. And how can this apply to engaging to let your beneficiaries, vulnerable, any individuals engaging with your organizations? The principles is pretty basic. On the left-hand side, you've got any beneficiaries, victim individuals, and you offer them the capability to engage with your organizations through many channels. Actually, it's wherever they want and whenever they want. Wherever, because you offer different channels. There's the usual traditional emails, phones that remains, and that will still be, of course, key elements. But you also offer other options. Social media, Facebook, WhatsApp. We know younger generations tend to use much more this kind of tool than the more traditional communication channel that we were used to use previously. Chatbot as well. So that's offering this. If you think about chatbot, when I said whenever, it's because chatbot obviously are available 24/7. So you also offer this opportunity that people don't need to comply with your working hours. So it's engaging more, offering new opportunities, that's for sure. But the other side of the story is, of course, as an organization, you need to be able to address that efficiently, timely, in a good way, right? It's not just about getting a request, it's about addressing those requests. And that's where AI comes into play, and it's completely a game changer. Different examples. The chatbot that is proposed here is not, this old-time chatbot that we maybe have in mind that are just, giving random generic answers. It's much more than that. It's like a chatbot that you can give access to any of your data, any of your standard operating procedures, your SharePoint site, your Confluence page, your Word documents, your intranet sites, whatever you have that is meaningful for your beneficiaries. And doing so, basically it's a ChatGPT engine, but the main difference is everything you give access to, it remains in your environments. Data remains your data. That's a Microsoft promise. It's documented everywhere, and that's a major game changer. So chatbot, okay, definitely helps you to engage 24/7, helps doing some triage, routing, identifying what is the exact intent of the beneficiaries. And AI applies to any other channel. If you think about phone calls, any conversation you're having, you have a live transcript. Everything that is being said is live transcripted, and you can even imagine having real-time translations. So it's again massive gains. You have automatic summary, actions, classification of the calls. So all these AI tools, all put together, gives this opportunity to do more with less, because you can have an increasing demand, and you don't have to cope with that with increasing staff to respond to that. That's all the promise. And we're talking a lot about the agent, the experience that the first row is having, but of course, because you have all this data being classified, you have unprecedented opportunities to have, capabilities to staff your team, pilot your teams, identify where is a need, where you should staff people, and bring all the reports you need to give to your top management, and your donors. So that's basically the principle. Now, if we change a little bit and try to see it more concretely, how it could apply to international organizations. So let's go through the journey of migrants. So Ahmed is a Syrian gentleman, and he's looking for legal advice, safety tips. So he connects to your webpage, where he's kindly invited to engage with a bot. So again, keep in mind that this is not a random bot. It's just a bot that has been trained, that I digested all your data and running a ChatGPT-4 engine with all the efficiency it means in the background. So you can ask any questions, right? Then he will be interacting with the bot, and most likely until a point where the bot says, well, no, we need to have a human interaction, right? I've been wherever I could, most likely super far, but there's still a point where you need to engage with one of our staff. Here you have two options. Either we're working during the working hours, fantastic. What the bot is doing is identifying, because it gets the intent, identifying who is the staff in your team that has the right skills, speaks Arabic in this case, and can provide safety tips or legal advice, who is available. The call is automatically being routed. The staff is being notified, and he can engage, he can continue to chat, or most likely have a phone call or a video call. You can also imagine it's outside of the working hours. In that specific case, on the very next day, on the morning, well, the bot will ask, okay, we're closed so far. When will be your preferred time for a callback? Say, well, between 10 and noon tomorrow. That means the agent, having the right skills, the right competencies, will be prompted. He needs to engage with Ahmed on the day after 10 to noon. When he does so, and before he actually pick up the phone and give a call to Ahmed, he has all the context. He has everything that's been said, discussed between Ahmed and the bot, plus a summary with actions. So he can prepare the call and know exactly what he's doing, and doesn't need to have Ahmed repeating again the whole story. He has everything in hands on the context. Continues this way. You can imagine that basically, Ali is most likely a super trained gentleman, trying to give some safety tips and so on. He has his own AI agents, where he can ask, okay, is there any security incident being reported over the last 2 weeks? So maybe I could change a little bit the routes, right? So I need to make sure that in the internal data of your organizations, you don't need to search over tens of sites, my intranet, SharePoint site, wherever all the information can be spread. It's one single place. It's all aggregated, consolidated, and make accessible through the AI agents. It's providing all the elements, and in the course of the discussion, Ahmed is also revealing that he has some healthcare concerns. Well, healthcare is not in the scope of the first agent of Ali, so the tool is helping say, okay, well, I will help you identify who is the agent you can reach out. So we need someone speaking Arabic, we need someone at ease with healthcare. So you can identify, the tool will automatically identify that Hassan is available. And then Ali has a choice to say, okay, should I transfer? I close the discussion with the beneficiary, with a migrant, and Hassan will be taking over, or do I do it and upfrontly I consult? We still remain the two of us supporting Ahmed in his way. Hassan is providing all the healthcare answers that are related to the migrants. It's all good. We ended up here where Ali will be wrapping up the call, and in that case, he has automatically all the summary of everything that we discussed, all the actions that needs to be taken. He can simply wrap the call. The tool will be helping him to say, okay, in that kind of situation, it's likely that Ahmed is eligible for a health relief kit. So he can collect this on the closest bureau, and he will provide a template of email that you just need to, the agent, your staff needs to review, making sure there is everything's fine. Maybe there's a QR code that is being automatically generated, and you can just send it over to Ahmed, and Ahmed can collect his kit on the closest office. So if you think about it, on the kind of experience that the migrant is living through all this process, never need to repeat twice the same story, is being answered with precise, timely, accurate, up-to-date information. And at the same time, for your organization, if you see the compound effect of all this AI, everything that has been provided, how much AI has been supported, the migrant and your staff and your teams all over the process. That's a complete different experience. That's a complete game changer. That's why we think it's a very interesting platform and use case that is worth to be explored. And on the top corner, on the top, you can also see that any time in the process, the team leader, the supervisor, they can see, okay, what is the demand? Do we have enough people speaking Arabic? Because maybe there's a demand. And again, you have AI saying, okay, most likely because of the prediction we made over the historical data we have, you will be lacking some migration experts speaking Arabic. You need to staff up your team to be able to cope with the demand. And there is a whole tons of reports that are available. So you don't need to have your experienced senior people, compiling reports, compiling data of a dozen of Excel files. Everything comes here. Again, a productivity gain. So that's the promise of it. Doing more, because the experience Hamed is having is different from what he's currently having, and with less because you have tons of productivity gains all over the process. So that's the main gains. You have omni-channels offering new opportunities for any individual to engage with organizations. Everyone in your organization, the staff, has a view on the whole context, knowing the beneficiary. Of course, that doesn't mean that anyone sees everything. You can, of course, break it down and make sure that privacy by design is being applied. People, staff only see whatever is relevant for their business. And you have tons of AI automation and reporting, so you make sure you bring value and you have your staff being focused on where they can deliver value rather than finding information or reporting information forever. This tool, this platform is used by many organizations. One, it's a platform developed by Microsoft, and it's used by Microsoft themselves. Maybe Microsoft has one of the biggest, largest contact center in the world. They have actually 70-something contact centers in the world. And this tool is being used by their 12,000 agents every day. And this is why after months of usage, they've been compiling a few numbers. All numbers can be questions. I'm not saying they should blindly apply to your context because all contexts are different. Still, I think they're interesting to see. On the left-hand side is how AI helps you to find the right person. And because you find the right person, you are much better in resolving cases in the first place. And the second one is, so this is about doing more. And this is all about how productivity helps, all the metrics on one single agent, how much one single agent is able to do more, because he's equipped with tools that are empowering him to do much more. There's a few things, Vincent, that you said before that resonate with that. The first one is on neutrality. Of course, it's a cloud-based solution. So it comes with all the questions about cloud-based solution, right? Some of organizations have been in the first scenario. They go cloud first. They say, okay, for us, the benefit to go cloud is much bigger than the actual risk or threat or concern. That's every organization has its own cloud strategy. So they say, well, we go for it because all the benefits we get out of it are clearly more than the concern and the threat we can have. It's the easiest path, of course. You go ahead, you can leverage all these features, they're all there. Some other organizations are actually doing things a bit differently. I said this is the easiest because it's not the only one. You have alternatives. You can say, well, we go for an hybrid mode. That's what we've been doing for one of our customers, saying, we're not quite ready to have some of the most sensitive data being on the cloud. We're not quite ready for that. We love contact center, we love what it gets, but still our most critical data, we want to keep it on premise. We're not ready to envisage having Microsoft getting access to our data. Of course, you make some compromises. Some features are a bit, let's say, more difficult to use. There's additional cost because you need to bring data flows. There are architecture questions, technical questions, DPO questions, but still it's feasible and it's live for one of our customers. The other one and the third option is, you could say it's not much about, cloud or not cloud. It's about we're not comfortable having Microsoft having the whole access to our data. We're not comfortable because cloud, because whatever reasons you say, we're not very much at ease. For most of our data, it's fine. It's not confidential. But for very highly sensitive, highly confidential data, we're not okay for that. So we do a data classification, identify a subset of fields, data, and say, this one, we cannot afford to do that. And this for this, because it's something we have, of course, with international organizations, but we have with public administration, we have with financial services. We have developed this solution, which is called Power Encrypt, which is encrypting your sensitive data with a key that is not in the Microsoft sphere. So Microsoft cannot have so as soon as the data is leaving your computer or the computer of your staff, it's been encrypted. So in Microsoft databases, Microsoft receives the data encrypted, and they have no way to encrypt it. So that's another capability. Again, come with a few challenges in terms of automation, AI. There's a lot of things that you need to adapt, but it's feasible. It's not that that's not the important message towards it. Whatever is your cloud strategy, it's not because you're not full cloud or cloud first that this kind of platform is not available for you. The second one, and again, it's about impartiality. We're not pretending it was just a use case. We're not pretending that it fits any organization, that whatever it is, it's exactly what you need. We don't know. We see huge potential. We see it from the experience we've had with projects we've done ourselves, but that doesn't mean it fits all. It's a unique and whatever solution that is necessary, the best one for you. So that's why we said, okay, we have this experience. It's real first, because we have 2 of our customers which we have done that. One is a small organization, 35 agents. They deal with 1,500 interactions a day. When it's much bigger, about 300 agents and 15,000 interactions a day. So it works. We see all the benefits from all these interactions. We see live how they benefit from it. So it's real. But yet again, doesn't mean it's necessarily the best solution for you. So what we propose is simply, let's assess that, if you will. Let's engage. We've done that with already a few organizations. Let's share with us a use case that you like. Let's share with us what is your cloud strategy. What is your data classification? What is okay for you to be on the cloud? What is not okay? Let's go through it and let's assess whether it could be a good fit. And if yes, we're happy, of course, delighted to engage and delighted to do a specific ad hoc tailor-made demo, because that's what we need, right? It's not just theoretical, that was just examples, but it needs to be properly assessed whether this could be a solution for you guys. So that's it for me. I thank you very much for your time and attention. And if you have any questions, happy to do my best.